It's wonderful to be able to welcome viewers from around the world. We should say buongiorno and benvenuto to the Italians and bonjour et bienvenue to the French. We can see crews from both nations here on the start, ready for the first semi-final of the afternoon, the Double Sculls Challenge Cup.
And we're down here at the start line, getting ready for some incredible racing action this afternoon on the fourth day of Henley, the semi-finals. This one of the really exciting events of the competition, the Double Sculls Challenge Cup. We have Oppo and Ruta from Italy and Houin Azou from France. I'm Sarah Cook and I'm joined by Matt Britton here in the commentary box.
And this is going to be a great race. This is some of the best scullers in the world. The Italians, super experienced. They won in the quads, World Championships in the quads, and the Rio Olympic champions on the right of your picture, the French. They won gold in the most recent World Cup in Poznan. So we've got some of the best competitors in the world ready to kick off our afternoon's racing here at Henley Royal Regatta.
Blue Cross. I see you are both straight and ready. I will start you like this. Attention. Go! Ready, please.
And the umpire calling the crews to be ready, running through that start process. Always a nerve-wracking few moments.
Yeah, from silence to an explosion of power, both quads off to a really rapid start. Look at the power going down from the Italians here, puffing and panting and driving the boat forward.
An incredible two crews that we have here, the French men's double scull, the Olympic champions, and of course Azou sitting in the stroke seat, Jeremy Azou. He's no stranger to this event. He has won it before with his former double partner, Stanley Delier. But we can see the umpire calling for France to move back onto their station, just struggling with the steering here in the early stage.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky off the start. There's a little bit of a crosswind that blows the boats across, and just getting your line, they're steering by looking behind themselves, obviously, so trying to get aligned off the booms. Once they get into this section, neck and neck, we can see they've got a little bit more to steer off with the booms on the side of the course. You do not want to get near those, because if you hit them, the race is pretty much over.
We can hear the umpire now calling to Italy to move back onto their station. The French have corrected their steering. The umpire calling very emphatically to the Italians to move back onto the bark station on the left-hand side.
Yeah, you can see the crews looking across at each other. One of the unique features of Henley is it's side-by-side, one-on-one racing. That's not what you get at the Olympics or the World Championships multi-lane, and that means the competitors are more inclined to keep an eye on each other, because you can go off really bold, really fast, and potentially get well ahead of somebody and demoralise them, and that's what they're trying to do at the moment. The Italians are really trying to take a slip on the French. The Rio Olympic champions are down by about half a length at this point in the race. It's turning, or maybe a quarter of a length, it's turning into a pretty good battle already, Sarah.
This is going to be an incredible battle all the way down the track. I wouldn't expect much separation. We're looking at two top lightweight nations here, the French, the Italians, and of course this is now the only Olympic boat class for lightweight men's rowing, so we're looking at some of the best here. It
is the most competitive of any of the rowing boats to be in these days, and you can look at the class of these athletes. I mean, both of them. Look at the relaxation on the strokeman, Houin Azou from France. He is no stranger, as you say, to this race, having won in an epic battle in 2014 against the British heavyweight double. So these lightweights are weighing around 70 kilos. The heavyweights are going to be 85, 90 kilos or more. So to win in that boat class against a heavier crew is really something.
And you would expect generally for a heavyweight crew to come out on top of a lightweight crew, but in fact both of these crews, in order to make it to the semi-final today, knocked out heavyweight crews. In fact, the Italians here on screen, I commentated their incredible race against the Italian heavyweight double. So an amazing job for both of these lightweight crews to be in the semi-final today.
I think, as a lightweight man, you've got to be no more than 72.5 kilos, average weight of 70 kilos for the boat. So that's a real disadvantage when you're looking at a class like this, which is all about the power, the horsepower that you pack in. So yeah, the Italian heavyweights won't be too pleased about having been beaten by their lightweight counterparts. And as you promised, Sarah, this is unfolding into be an epic race. We're getting towards the middle point of the race, and there's still very little in it.
Incredible here. A few glances across. We saw the bowman Pierre Houin looking across at the Italians, Stefano Oppo, Pietro Ruta. The lightweight crew from Italy, 3 Olympic appearances between them. They were certainly one of the more experienced Italian crews that we've seen here. Half of the Olympic lightweight men's four that came forth in Rio last year.
Yeah, so these guys really are at the top of their game, at the top of world rowing, and in the most competitive boat class, the lightweight double being the Olympic class for lightweights. Look at them, they're glancing across. This is something you wouldn't see so much in multi-lane racing. They're really looking, can this push? Look at this push the Italians are doing now. Grimacing and driving, and they're really making some headway against the French, who are looking a little bit cooler. Are they going to be able to hold it? Are they going to be able to get through?
And now we can see a little look over from the stroke man in the Italian crew, Pietro Ruta. Stefano Oppo in the bow seat having a look as well. And what happened the other day when they were racing their heavyweight counterparts, there was a look across and a very definitive decision to go, and you could see the rate come up and you could see them absolutely go for it. They made that decision and it was decisive and it was fast, but I think that they have their match here in the French.
Well, look at them, they're going now, Sarah.
Absolutely,
absolutely. Just as you were saying that, the French have taken half a length, and à la bleu, on they go. It's looking like they may be able to pull out to a length. I think the Italian push looked pretty expensive. You saw both the athletes in the Italian boat really grimacing and driving hard. The French held, and then they pushed, and away they go.
I mean, we're looking at the Olympic champions in the lightweight men's double sculls, one of the most competitive events in the world rowing program. These guys, the French crew, Azou and Houin, are definitely the favourites to win the World Championships this year.
I mean, look at Azou's face. It's been unchanged since the start. He's totally and utterly in the zone, just sculling away, pounding rhythm, trying to break the Italians, and they're still overlapping. As we look down the course towards the start, they're coming underneath us, they're still overlapping, determined to go, and this is really hard, and this is where the experience, the top class crew who've been in the Olympics, both of them in Rio, really counts, because they've got to be completely in their own bubble, trying to make sure they're moving the boat as fast as they can.
And look, I wouldn't be surprised if around the world we have some other nations joining in to be watching this broadcast and be having a look at maybe who they'll be coming up against at Lucerne next weekend. This is an all-star semi-final here today. The French crew, Azou and Houin, on the left-hand side of your screen. I mean, what a huge move they made to get ahead of the Italians, Oppo and Ruta, on the right-hand side of your screen.
Well, you and I know, Sarah, what it's like if you get somebody who starts to row through you like this. You have to try and hang on to them. You have to try and hang on to them. And the Italians now will be doing all they can to try to relax and lengthen their strokes and power back towards the French, hoping that that push from the French to get to this position of advantage has been really expensive. There's still quite a way to go as we come down this course at Henley.
But look at the beautiful fluidity in that French crew. I mean, they just move so well together. You can see real power, real aggression in the Italian crew, but I mean, it's a masterclass in how to scull, isn't it?
I mean, it's poetic, isn't it? You saw the guys there looking like they're in the zone, and really they're moving in total harmony. The crews are quite close together. The Italians don't want to get any further across, because you can see the puddles, the little concentric circles there. They actually cause quite a bit of swirl and bounce on the boat, and we want to stay clear so the crews have a good, clean race. Looking down the track now towards the finish line, you can see the cabin on the left and the cabin on the right. The finish line runs between the two. The Italians having one last mad push for the finish, raising their rate of striking. They're well known for being high-rating crews, and they're coming back at the French. The French are really under pressure now, looking across. Where's the finish line, says Azou? Where's the finish line? It's got to come. It can't come too soon for him, but it looks like the French are going to achieve a victory over the Italians.
The Italians, they're certainly taking it all the way to the line. This is what they do, big sprints, but the French, just what a commanding performance. They did the work early on, and they've taken this semi-final of the men's double sculls. Jeremy Azou will be through to the final once again in the double sculls, looking to back up his 2014 performance and see if he can take this trophy home.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. What a way to get our after-lunch racing underway at Henley, with the Rio Olympic champions there having really held on well through the middle of the race.
Attention.
Here we are at the start. Let's have a look at how it went off.
So fierce, isn't it? I mean, look at the power. Look at these guys grabbing onto every inch they can get.
Really dramatic look at how rowing at its best works with these two crews, and also the joy of match racing. Tactics here, who pushes when, looking across, keeping an eye. Are they making a move? If they are we going to hold them, or are we going to respond and go with them? And I think the French tactically played it very well in the middle of the race. That was the push there that saw them break the Italians and come through for a commanding lead.
It was a great move, a very decisive one from the French, but they just looked cooler and cooler. The further they went down the track, the more easy it looked, even though I'm sure that's incredibly inaccurate. There was nothing easy about what either of these crews just did.
And that's the paradox of the sport, isn't it? You know, the most power, the hardest times, and if you look relaxed as well, doesn't mean there's not pain going on underneath that. And there is the elation of victory on the face of the Olympic Double Sculls lightweight champion.